This isn't a good time for me to be making a Team Fortress 2 video because it's 5:30 in the morning, but it just came to my attention that Zesty Jesus TF2 on his alternate account, Zesty Alt, went on a 10-minute rant about how a Pyro Wolfhead cosmetic does not fit into the world of Team Fortress 2 and the video game of Team Fortress 2, mentioning that this style is a 70s realism impression, whatever, slightly exaggerated, and that referencing media like Full Metal Jacket and Fargo is appropriate for the Team Fortress 2 universe because they're dark, gritty, and it would fit into the game because of the story, not a Mario hat. A Mario hat wouldn't fit, it's not dark and gritty. Super Mario doesn't belong in Team Fortress 2. And in fact, he calls this wolf head, I can't say it, but he calls it a furry, I'm sorry, I don't see it as that. And he also mentions that he doesn't want to embrace the Balloonicorn headphones and things like that because they don't fit into the game. Sorry, Zesty, are we playing the same game? Because you're talking about how CSGO has items that fit its gritty personality. Again, CSGO isn't Team Fortress 2. TF2, they're dark, they're edgy. At one point you mentioned how Fortnite is adding all these characters, like real-life characters, animated characters, to their game and like losing their identity. Team Fortress 2 hasn't done that. They make hats. 2013 Robotic Boogaloo, the cosmetic hat update. Community created, but approved by Team Fortress 2. And they had all these silly little hats. They had a whole comic about it. They're making so much money they don't know what to do with it, that they're throwing it in the fire and they're eating it. The soldier is wearing a crown. Yes, this is a community update, I get it. But when in the Team Fortress universe has it ever been gritty and dark? Just give me one solid example of it being gritty and dark. Animated feature, the medic is just cracking jokes with the heavy while he's got his The Meet the Pyro video 11 years ago was probably the darkest we ever got. The whole video was leading up to the punchline that Pyro thinks that this is all a wonderful magical land, that he's not actually murdering people and he's just blowing bubbles for little flying cherub babies. We're talking about the same game where in canon lore, the scout fights a giant bread monster. The same game where the demo man teleports into the middle of his team wearing a sombrero bringing the beer. The members of TF2 Emporium care more about the game than you ever will. Again, the same game where we fight a giant floating eyeball and an old wizard with a book with a bomb on it and a horseless, headless horseman. The game has never been serious. If you don't want to embrace this, you don't have to. No one is forcing you to buy this, upvote this, or whatever. But if you're gonna come on and make a 10-minute video telling me that this is inappropriate because it doesn't fit the aesthetic of the game or the lore of the world, you clearly have no idea what you're talking about. And I am shocked that you have so many followers. If you're worried about the continuity of having a Super Mario hat in the Team Fortress 2 universe, please remember that they actually added the Apple earbuds into the game when it was released on Mac. Did Mac exist in 1970? No, it didn't. This is also the universe where Tom Jones is roommates with Marasmus and gets his neck snapped by Soldier from Team Fortress 2. And no longer is alive in the TF2 universe because of that. But in real life, Tom Jones is still alive, guys. He's fine. Do not forget that New Zealand's underwater. Mr. Zesty, if you just want to ignore all the comics and all of the official Valve and Team Fortress 2 videos, if you just want to ignore that and just focus on the game alone, please remember that some of the official updates we've had in the past include, but are not limited to, 2013, where we had to figure out how to send Redman or Blutarch to hell by shoving their corpse in a tiny cart into a flaming inferno, then getting your characters transported to hell, and having to race to a Skull Island to catch the Bombinonicon to go back to Earth. Or in the 2011 Smithmas update, they came out with Old Nick, who is evil Australian Santa Claus, as this was official lore tied to the game. We had that big update back in 2017 when Saxton Hale was beating up Yetis and he killed them all, so now the mercenaries had to fight each other. Or the community-endorsed update, Invasion, when aliens came and you had to feed them beer to destroy them. This was 2015, by the way, where 1 year prior in 2014, we had the End of the Line community update, which was By far, I think one of my favorite updates to ever come out because of the cinematic, the cosmetics, and all the above. It was great, all over. But as serious as this update was, we learned that the end of the line, where the blue team is sending a train full of booms, is targeting Red Boom Barrel Co., which Soldier realizes is right next to the kitten store, the orphanage, and to his horror, the kitten orphanage. So yeah, are we talking about the same game? Because it hasn't taken itself seriously for years, and if you want to play a serious game that doesn't have wolf head cosmetics, like this one for example that came out in 2014, ironically enough, even when I got my inventory stolen, this is the one thing that stayed. So I still have this. Yeah, so long story short, if you don't care for a community created cosmetic, so be it. Not all the cosmetics are for everybody, you know? You can downvote it if you really choose to, but there's no need to go on a 10-minute rant about how this doesn't fit into the universe of Team Fortress 2, because everything you said is so wrong. You can't compare this to CSGO. You can't compare this to Fortnite. Even if you stylistically want to compare it to Fortnite, Fortnite sells out. Sounds kind of harsh, but Fortnite has a system that they know they can get people to buy stuff if they partner with Rick and Morty, if they partner with anime, if they partner with celebrities. They know they will make sales. That is the point. And they always have a new character or new something to introduce that is created by Fortnite. They are still getting updates. Good for them. It works for them. Good for them. This is a community created item by somebody who gives a crap about the game that Valve has not given a crap about in a while. You know how lucky we are that we got the 2023 summer update? We are so damn lucky because that was also entirely community created. From the assets to the game modes to the voice lines, everything was from the community. That is the difference, Zesty. The members of the TF2 Emporium not care about the game. They care so much about the game. Because without them, none of this would have happened. None of it. And Zesty, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't seem to find your workshop page, so I don't know what items you have contributed to the TF2 game and community. So once I see those, I'd be happy to review them and kind of compare them to the items you're reviewing and see if they also hold up to the standards you are asking of people. Again, standards that are not existent and unrealistic. You seem to make great content, like on your regular channel for the most part. I'm not really liking how you're just, saying stuff you don't know about the game, about the community, and singling out a person who has, again, donated their time, donated their effort, when if you really didn't like it, you are welcome to downvote. You're welcome to ignore. No need to go on a 10-minute rant about how you don't like it. And again, calling it furry when it's just a wolf mask. Like, if you're projecting that much, you might want to go talk to somebody. Because we've seen some actual stuff in the workshop before, and I think we all know what we're talking about. At least with the spy cosmetic, the infamous spy cosmetic, I don't think I can show here. So this is nothing. Okay, so this is my nearly 10-minute response rant to Zesty Alt's 10-minute rant about how an item made for a silly hat game that is in a silly universe apparently isn't dark and edgy enough or 70s enough for Zesty Jesus TF2. There you go. Hope you made it through. I don't even know. I don't think I've made a video this long, but my god, this was a lot. And I really hope that the creator of this cosmetic knows that I support their creative efforts regardless of if you enjoy these types of cosmetics or not. I think it's fun. Yeah, I'd like to see it in the game. Sure, why not? If you don't, you don't. That's fine. But I know that person put in so much more effort than I have ever done in my damn life. Kind of hard to judge somebody on creativity when you have none yourself. Okay, thank you. Good night.